Hello and welcome to Hellbent live. Listener, you can see us, you can hear us, and all of that good stuff. And we will get a cranking on the show. Reverend PC, Benita Wilcox. Benita's in here. We missed Benita last week. Tur Dog, Tristan Myers. We got a whole crew. Patty G, thank you for the 5x5. My name is Jesse Doyle. This is my co-host, my compatriot, my mortal enemy, Joseph Doyle. Sir Hellbent Holler himself. I changed his moniker there. I changed my moniker to just the simplified, something very simple, Supreme Emperor, as I am Supreme Emperor of Hellbent Holler. I want to welcome you all to the show tonight. I just want to go ahead and get something out of the way. We are not monetizing this show tonight. This is a non-monetized show. I don't know if we can get super chats. Joe's gonna have to check that.
Actually, we can't get super chats because Oki threw a little bit at us here, sipping some shine. Uh-oh. Not okay. And then Curtis Whitaker.
Curtis don't hurt.
We finally heard from Curtis.
Curtis, we had a wellness check
on Curtis Whitaker. Thank you guys. So the
proof of life
stream itself is not monetized tonight.
Yeah.
Because the last time we covered something,
we're not monetized. You can say it. So last time we had a very spicy topic. We discussed Corpsewood Manor, which was pretty out the frame. And the details of that case are very out the frame. So that is why that episode was demonetized. We actually got in trouble for that because we attempted to monetize that episode. So we're just going to save YouTube some trouble and time and go ahead and go at this undone monetized.
We'll try not to get the channel taken down itself. The channel itself will hopefully.
We're not going to be super unhinged. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to let it all fly.
Curtis and Oki, thank you guys again.
Thank you guys. Yes, absolutely. So you can super chat. That's not affected.
We ought to do like one non-monetized
show every month,
live stream a month, just to let our hair hang.
We'll just really just go.
Let it rip.
It's Unhinged Week here.
Matter of fact, maybe you should roll the disclaimer.
Oh yeah. We haven't done this in a long time. Everybody, whammo! I love that disclaimer.
We should have ran a reverse disclaimer.
What's that?
That the views are ours.
Oh, the views are ours.
But yeah, exactly. So,
I think we just do that to just like CYA, that way in case it does get too off the rails, where at least we have plausible deniability that it's one of our alternate personalities that are actually saying these words. So that's why we run that schizo disclaimer.
The schizo disclaimer.
So tonight's topic is, it's going to get off the rails. It's some pretty spicy stuff, some really disturbing stuff. And we're going to go for it because it's something that we kind of need to talk about, because the topic that we're going to discuss today is the strange disappearance of Theresa Ann Bier in 1987 in California at the foot of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Real quick, before we get to that, I just shared it in the chat.
Cool.
We are going to be doing, this might be our only public appearance kind of thing for next year.
2026.
2026. We're doing the Tennessee Cryptid Campout with the same guys who put on Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con. Out of the 3 conferences we did this past year, this was everyone's favorite by far. The guys who put it on are an awesome bunch of people. They are actually field investigators and researchers themselves. So they try to make sure that this is like a real, like, kind of grassroots, cool, kind of like independent conference. So they're doing this camp out thing. And it's going to be us, Jesse and myself. Ronnie LeBlanc from Expedition Bigfoot's there, but he's like doing like CE5 like stuff. He's doing some crazy stuff with people. And then Chester Moore from Dark Outdoors. And then there's going to be a few other people there. We're going to be taking people on like boots on the ground night investigations.
And we're going to be going over some of our techniques that we use in the field to do cryptid and paranormal investigations.
Mhm.
You know, with Ronnie LeBlanc being there, he's going to discuss the UFO connection to Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and cryptid investigations. I think we're going to maybe touch on some of that cross spectrum stuff as well.
Mhm.
But we're really going to focus on Bigfoot field investigations. We're really excited about doing this. That is the logo for the event.
And we're going to be taking people out. I think it's like 2-hour jaunts at a time, but that's for the people that just kind of want to go out for a little bit and then go back and do some of the other stuff there. If other people are wanting to hang out with us longer out there for it, let's tear it up, man.
Tear it up.
Let's tear it
Tear
up.
it up.
So as far as stuff like this goes, they ain't getting rich off this. You know what I'm saying? So
no, this is a pretty good deal.
pretty good deal. And
but you can follow the link that Joe posted in the chat to get your tickets for this event. Now, tickets are going to sell out because they have sold a ton of tickets already.
Yeah,
and it is a limited attendance event, so there are a limited number of tickets available.
if you don't want to go, spend your time however you see fit.
I thought you had a stroke there. For a
I didn't
second.
have a stroke. I was trying to,
Okay.
but if you want to kind of get out in the field with us a little bit, and you want to do it in a pretty cool environment, we've heard some horror stories over the past year,
and we're going to kind of touch on some of that because it does relate to
of some of these like Bigfoot outings that take place. This one's gonna be pretty freaking cool. Now Jesse might go crazy, but I'm gonna have the tranquilizer dart gun with me. Tie her up until the fit passes. We'll be. I personally guarantee everyone's safety from Jesse.
Have you ever seen the Tommy Lee Jones movie, The Park Is Mine?
Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna go all the park is mine? I love that movie, by the way.
That movie
The original story. I think the original story like appeared in like Playboy or Penthouse or something like that. But the original story is like amazing. So
I love 1970s films. I'm a 1970s cinephile. Did you ever watch The Last Detail? It was one of Jack Nicholson's early films.
You know what we got to watch is
I Am the Shore Patrol.
Is The Sorcerer. You got to see that.
Oh, that's good.
You have not seen that, but it's one of the best movies you've never seen.
The link to buy tickets, if you are watching this episode later, the link is also in the description of this video. So you can follow that Eventbrite link and you can join us for the Tennessee Cryptid Campout.
Yeah.
Now, one of those days is somebody's birthday.
It is. It's actually been my birthday that week. So we are choosing to spend our birthday doing this.
Our birthday.
We're one of those couples now. Let's get our joint Facebook page all together. But it's gonna be pretty cool. Chester Moore, if you don't know him, Chester Moore does Dark Outdoors.
I love those stickers.
And he is pretty rad. He looks at a lot of the more physical, mundane dangers in the woods that you might encounter.
And he always says
feral dogs.
Well, the most dangerous thing in the woods is people. And that's something that we're kind of, everything we are talking about and promoting also circles back to our topic today, which is interesting.
So a couple quick things. Strange backcountry with a fellow by the name of MK Ultra. Welcome to the memberships, my friend.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. Miranda Crew.
Buddy
Miranda, let the good times roll. Speaking of buddies, we got Ken Lucas. Janet and I will be there. Can't wait.
Oh my God, I'm so glad.
That's awesome.
We get a weekend with Ken and Janet.
This isn't like strong arming. If you're not into that sort of thing or whatnot, I totally understand. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like if you enjoy these conferences and stuff like that, some of these like camp out like investigation things are not really investigation things. You really don't get away from the campfire. But B, kind of dangerous. So this one will be pretty cool, man. Randy, the main guy that's putting it on,
It'll be dangerous for the right reasons.
Yes, Randy, the guy putting it on, our friend Randy from Tennessee Wildman, he's a crazy person. So yeah, ain't no shenanigans getting up there, man. So
I think you've done a great job selling this event.
I have done that.
cracked you
have
up
done
there,
that.
didn't
Yes, I did. So, all right. Ken, can't wait to see him. Our buddy Brian had asked, hey, guys, I was curious. Did you ever talk to Alex Petticoff about the gunshot he heard in Alaska, like the gunshot you guys heard at Blackthorn, and the gunshot I've heard and gotten responses with using a shotgun? No, we haven't talked to Alex. Alex has been jet setting for the past week. He was shooting a lot. I think he spoke somewhere.
He was in Ibiza.
Huh?
Ibiza.
A what?
Ibiza.
So we'll have to get in touch with him, buddy. I'll actually jot that down if you don't mind.
Sure.
Reach out to Alex about the gunshot he heard in Alaska. So, but anyway, if you're into doing that sort of stuff, this one will be pretty cool. There's a lot of different stuff going on out there for it. There will be,
and that's going to be like the perfect time of year too, right before it gets too hot and muggy up there, but it's going to be in Tennessee. So, you know, right now it's an undisclosed location, and that's just to protect the integrity of the event.
If anybody that's on here has a question about stuff like that, reach out to me or reach out to Randy. JD, I'll shoot you a text when I get off here. And, but it's going to be in the Tennessee area. It's going to be around
Middle Tennessee. Is that what they call it?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that what they call that region?
Now, so where was this at? I lost it. Okay. Surviving the Strange said somebody may be left behind as a tribute. And I was thinking the other day, so there's this thing in Eastern European folklore called the Scholomance. Okay. And it's a cave that sometimes it's in Hungary, sometimes it's in Romania. A lot of times it takes place in Transylvania, that part of Romania. But basically the devil runs a school for like witches and sorcerers in a cave, and 10 students can enroll at a time, and they all study independently.
I'm not like a Harry Potter school. I'm a cool witch school.
Well, here's the thing for the Scholomance is that 10 students, you're all in there studying independently. You know, you're not around each other. The longer you stay, the more powerful you eventually become. But the last one left in there is the price that they pay to the devil. The devil keeps them. So I think we need to adopt these same rules, is that whoever comes out, you stay as long as you want. But the last one left is given to the forest.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That means I get a vacation. I'm going to stay in the cabin.
Hey, what happened to Ken? He went on that camp out with Hellbent Holler and them, and I think they gave him to the woods.
Ken is going to emerge out of the woods just like with blood and mud caked all around him.
Our buddy Pyro goes, I did one like this with RPG in Missouri. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be doing, like I said, there's a lady doing, what does she call it? Sound alchemy. She's trying like Tibetan singing bowls.
Oh, it's the singing bowl lady.
Yeah, to try to like draw like mysterious forces in. I'm actually kind of interested.
I'm super interested in that.
Yeah,
so that's the cool thing about this whole thing too. We'll get off on a little tangent here. We're not just selling this event here. What's cool is the holistic approach that is being taken here. And it's going to be kind of a cool little conclave out in the woods where people of different disciplines and schools of thought, interests, and skill sets can kind of get together and palaver and really be out there in sort of an outdoor cryptid lab of sorts and really experiment with things and do it as a group and do it as a like-minded group of people. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to have a lot of fellowship with that. There's going to be evening fires. There's going to be discussion. There's going to be just brotherhood and fellowship. I like that part too.
If you've seen us at the conferences, you know that we sold stuff at one of them. What did we sell stuff at? Like Cryptid Con?
I don't know.
And then we were just like, we're not doing this anymore. We just want to hang out with people. So generally, this is not a place where you go and then we're just trying to sell you books or anything like that, or T-shirts or tchotchkes. So it's just basically just to see if y'all can, if just come hang out. And again, if you're not into this, you're not into this, man.
Yeah. I'll update you guys on what's going on the release end of everything. We're aiming for the Halloween release to be.
So can we talk a little bit about this like investigation video that you've got coming up?
I thought you were about to interrupt me, and I was like, you're about to take a Stanley to the skull. Because,
can we talk about it a little
Yeah,
bit?
go ahead. You're on topic. You're on topic. The rage was coming in.
Airplane food. Have you ever airplane food?
The rage was emerging.
So
but you're fine.
So we had an investigation set up that we were going to try to time the release for Halloween, and then we got put on to what sounded like a really awesome case.
Yeah.
Which swiftly became the most frustrating damn case. And it's been a freaking onion. There's so many layers to this. And here's the deal. Normally, this would be cool as hell. We were trying to get this out before Halloween.
And when you, so we're working on this. We've got the ball rolling on the whole case. We're working on this. We're doing, some field work. We're doing some background stuff. And then we get thrown for a loop and a whole slew of new information comes out, and we had to kind of pivot again and retool the whole thing. So I'm aiming for Monday of next week to be the release of this video. It's looking good. I'm in the editing phase right now. I'm in the process of editing all of that footage. We had several investigations that we did for this, and this is a compilation of all of the stuff that we gathered, and we've barely scratched the surface on this area and all of the crazy stuff that went on.
So can I say what the original genesis was?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
We had a investigation that we've hinted at in the past that we were going to we're doing the investigation anyway. We wanted to have like a video ready of the investigation to release around Halloween. We thought it'd be a great match for like Halloween, spooky, kind of scary, blah, blah, blah. And then a person reached out to us.
I had an errant hair on my face.
Those errant hairs. A person reached out to us within driving distance, who I'm trying to be very careful because we can't release a lot of it, but she was reporting that she and her family were dealing with what she called a wolfman coming out of the woods in her area. And it's been an ongoing pattern of activity. And we were like, holy crap, this sounds awesome. Let's go check it out first. Kind of go in and kind of get a lay of the land before we get too deep into it, just to make sure that it's got some potential. Well, it had tons of potential. Very rural, very wooded area, very old South, very old area. The woods through there are dotted with lots of old, forgotten family cemeteries that have just been taken over by the forest, that aren't on maps or anything like that. We would just kind of come across them. And that's where it just kind of all started to unravel on us. We kept running across other weird stuff in the area that we were unaware of. And it was hard to kind of remain focused on one thing because we kept uncovering other weird stuff. And then we ran into some other difficulties. So normally this would be great.
This is a lot of ambiguity.
But the thing is we wanted to have something out for Halloween for people. So trying to encapsulate all of this into a video that's like easily digestible, because sometimes we look at each other and go, we don't even really know what the hell is going on here right now. How can we explain this to someone?
What's interesting too, you can probably, keep this in mind when you do watch this whole video. We're out there, and whatever's going on, whether it be a physical entity or a more supernatural entity, whatever it may be, it seems like it definitely affects how you and I are. You and I were in a state of agitation.
We argued for like a day straight out there, and it was very odd. And we were both just like, and then after we got out of the area, we were like, sorry about that. Don't know what got into me. I don't know what had got into me. So we have to cautiously investigate this area. This area, you're not going to see the last of it in this Halloween video. Mm-hmm. There's more than one thing going on there. as far as we've never come across a place where there's more local lore about an area that only fragments of it kind of get out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Because we're still looking into this going, did you know anything about this? No, I didn't know anything about this. So I know that's kind of hyping it up a bit, but I just want you guys to be aware that this one's freaking bananas. This is bananas.
And I'm trying to put it together in more of a concise way when I do this edit, to where they get what happened and see what happened, and it's not, because we've kind of blitzed this whole thing. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's worthwhile definitely looking into, and I don't think we're done looking into it.
Oh, absolutely not. And it will all become more.
All will become apparent. All will be revealed.
Ashley Green is in the UK and likes our videos. Thank you, Ashley. Welcome to the channel. Tonight will be a slightly different video, and we're going to go off the rails a little bit. So we're
that's
gonna
fine, and we'll get to our topic.
Boy, Hawk.
Hey, Hawk.
Not only did Hawk send me some crazy footage that I have not shown you yet, which is pretty wild. Hawk throwing 5 memberships out to the masses. He's throwing them out like candy. Wish I could see who got message. So here's we go.
Does it say it on there?
Joseph, yeah, I got to look at it on my phone. Joseph Cannon got one. Judy Wheeler got one. Thumpin' Weevil got one. Brian got one.
Thumpin' Weevil was banned years ago.
Eric C got one. Hawk. Damn, Hawk.
That's cool that it does it instantaneously.
Just
like does it in
throwing them out.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, so what have we done? Have we done everything? We've plugged the camp out. We have given a few breadcrumbs about the investigation video that we're going in.
If you haven't watched Lost Contact yet, make sure you check that out. That is the latest big release from Small Town Monsters, and it's featuring our very good friend,
the Dooster.
I don't think Dooster's in here today, but
I tried to call the Dooster right before we got on. We need to plug Dooster's stuff more, because Dooster's works are like invaluable reference materials.
In the description of the show, I have an email address. You can email Soggybottombookstore@gmail.com, and you can order any of the Dooster's books from him, and you'll get a signed copy directly from him. Or if you're interested in getting some of his cool paranormal equipment, this is what I used in the Equinox video in that creepy cemetery. It uses a modified theremin circuit to see when things come near it. I'll fire that thing up right now, actually.
Yeah.
And then we'll get on to our little topic here. I know we have to do all of our, hit all the stuff before you start. All right, the do pod. I just love everything's a do thing. All right. There you go, Joe. Isn't that awesome? So if you want a device like that or other paranormal investigation equipment, you can contact the Dooster about that. He is the one that built the helmet. Don't think that you're ever going to get a helmet, because it's a one of one.
One of
so
one.
You got to settle for a Dude Pod or something.
David says, the red deer skull would look good up there. The red deer skull.
Oh, it would.
It would actually look good up there. Look for that red deer skull.
That's in my office.
So
let's get on to the subject at hand.
What did Lady Wolf do? She's in the bad girl corner tonight.
Oh, geez.
Oh, God.
What is she doing?
I don't know. Anything is possible. Hope you're feeling better there, Lady Wolf. So,
I think this whole chat is the bad girl corner at this point.
So, anyway, a lot of Dooster love going through there. Hellbent 3200. Thank you so much for that super sticker. So
you're getting good at hosting.
I'm getting good at hosting.
I'm going to just take the day off.
Getting good at hosting, man. So,
yeah, you're getting pretty good. Pretty proud of you. Doing a good job, Sir Hellbent Hollow.
Doing a good job, Joe. So, so tonight, our topic is going to be kind of as if the show's not meandering enough as it is right now. We're going to meander even more.
Talk about a situation, an onion-like situation. Where you have something that on the surface seems like one thing, and then you start to dig deeper and you discover it's a whole other kettle of fish that has nothing to do with the initial thing that we thought about. However, this story does take us down an interesting parallel rabbit hole, and it makes us think about stuff that's going on this at this very time on this very day.
Yes. And you will
So-
realize why we did not try to monetize the show tonight. Monetizing the show means that we get like advertising revenue. So you see ads throughout the live streams trying to sell you like online gambling and cat litter. And then YouTube throws a few pennies of that at us. And then we use that to buy batteries and Band-Aids and beanie weenies and Vienna sausages for Jesse, and, you know, throw some gas and the holler. And
That's great.
I needed a drink after that. But tonight we didn't monetize because there's no way to talk about this topic without kind of coming across some events that advertisers would not feel very comfortable.
Some dark details.
Hey, YouTube, I don't want
crossing
my
some
cat
lines.
litter being advertised on that show where they're talking about a girl going missing and Bigfoot being blamed.
Yeah.
I want my cat litter to be associated with fun stuff. Can you get me with that Mr. Beast gentleman? That's what I want my kitty litter associated with.
In
So-
1987, a young girl by the name of Theresa Ann Bier went missing. She was 16 years old and she was expected at school that day, but she ended up in the Sierra Nevada mountains with a 43-year-old man named Russell Skip Welch. When Theresa never returned home from that trip, Russell said that she was taken by Bigfoot.
Yep.
But that turns out that is not the case.
So, reason why we talk this has been a case that I have been aware of for years and years and years and years and years. And in the past, I've even talked. I may have mentioned it. I think I've referred to it before on the live stream, but it's a pretty sordid tale. Reason why we were kind of doing it is because is it Discovery or Travel Channel?
The same thing now.
It's all together.
It's all
so-
been condensed. It's been purchased by HBO networks, and there's a mini series coming out in October.
Who wanted us to be on it this past week? Travel or Discovery?
Oh, for paranormal caught on camera.
Paranormal.
That's the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the same thing.
Uh,
Yeah, we're not gonna. We got emailed by Paranormal Caught on Camera about using some of our footage, and we said
and appearing on there, and we declined the offer.
we declined the offer.
We declined the offer.
Yes,
So
we declined the offer.
we got an email from them going, "Hey, we would like to feature some of your footage and have you on the show to speak on some stuff." And when we responded back with well, if we're going to even consider it, we would need this. And they were like, well, the network doesn't like that. We were just like, we're not going to waste your time. Thank you for the offer, but we're going to have to pass. And it sounds like not a lot of people pass on TV.
That's a humble
offers.
Brag. That was a humble brag.
That is a humble brag.
Jeez.
Here's a humble brag. Hawk just threw another 5 memberships out of the people.
Hawk's
Hawk is
out
just-
of his mind today.
Hawk is out of control. Out of control. Real quick, Sarge asked if the argument will be in the vid. It kind of has to be because almost like a whole day was spent arguing at that point. But Hawk, thank you again, buddy. I'm gonna leave that up there for a little bit to kind of show how awesome and generous and amazing and just kind and just what a sweetheart.
We do appreciate
what
it,
a
Hawk.
sweetheart you are, buddy. So one of the larger channels, who I've already forgotten which one Jesse said did it, is going to be doing a special. It's a 3-part special on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
The Bigfoot abduction of Theresa Ann
Bier.
And you know what it reminds me of? Remember that Hulu special where it started out kind of like saying, hey, Bigfoot killed these immigrant workers at a grow operation in California and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You thought you were watching like a cryptid thing.
Yeah, well, that's how it was kind of.
And then all of a sudden you got into it and no, it's just a redneck murder mystery. And it's not even like a mystery. Everybody kind of
it was
knows
like a cartel grow operation.
Yeah, exactly. So but they led you in with the hook of Bigfoot.
What was that called?
It
was a true crime documentary called Sasquatch.
was it called? I couldn't remember if it was Sasquatch or
It
Bigfoot,
investigates a legend about a Bigfoot like creature killing people on a cannabis farm in Northern California. So turns out it was just the cartel.
So with this one, it is Jessica Chobot, who we've met, nice lady, doing this, but the
We
reason
think it's going to be like a bait and switch, like that Sasquatch
I don't know,
miniseries.
because it kind of has to be.
Yeah, it kind of has to be.
Because when you peel the story back,
You take anything beyond a cursory look at the case, the disappearance of Theresa Ann Bier, you start to dig into it. Even just a minor shuffling of the dirt to look into it, you can see that Sasquatch taking this young lady was definitely not what occurred.
well, you can't say definitely not because we weren't there.
Yeah. It's the perfect Sasquatch crime.
It is the perfect Sasquatch crime. And I do want to preface this too. This is a grim topic. There's two ways. Well, there's three ways to go about these. You can just never talk about it because it's a delicate subject and you don't want to offend anyone, and just so that way you never talk about it. And then, it kind of gets just forgotten, you can be super serious about it.
I do want to say that
which would
Lady Wolf is very proud of us for not doing that show. But yes, I agree.
Thank you, Lady Wolf.
Carry on, Joe.
So you could be very overly serious about it, but for me, this is a very enraging topic. It's a very enraging topic. So much so that I was talking to Jessie earlier about it. She's like, please don't say that on the live stream because A, the channel will get taken down. B, we'll get under federal investigation. Again. So we're going to try to address this in a serious topic, but we're also going to try to gallows humor is, I guess, what we're going to engage in a little bit here, but respectful gallows humor. So the story on its, and I'm going to refer to my notes because I'm terrible with dates, man. I'm really bad with dates. I'm terrible with dates. The story on its surface is, and if it's okay with you, I'll kind of expand about it because I'm more familiar with this case because
see, I knew nothing about this.
Well, because I've never talked to you about it before that much because it's going to enrage you as you hear more about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is all of your trigger and your hot your buttons.
I wasn't even alive when this happened.
Yeah, but it's what happened is in 1987, a young girl, Theresa Ann Bier, she goes out Bigfoot hunting with a 43-year-old man, Russell Skip Welch.
Oh, Skip.
And I don't want to call him Skip because,
Let's call him Russell.
Let's call him Russell.
Sure.
All right.
Russell, or just Welch is fine.
Skip, we'll call him Russell. So they go into the Sierra Nevada mountains together to look for Bigfoot. Russell was very obsessed with the Bigfoot topic. He claimed that he had ongoing encounters with Sasquatch, that he could speak to them. He could speak to them verbally. He could speak to them mentally.
So he had a personal connection with the Sasquatch. He had habituated the Sasquatch. He claimed that he had personal relationships with the Sasquatch, and he told this girl that, and anybody else who would listen.
Yeah, and he either did or he did a lot of drugs, one of the two. Oh. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. The two might be mutually exclusive. You can do a bunch of drugs and maybe commune with the foots, all right? But at the same token, let's say he was more well-known in his community for his can I curse on this?
Yeah.
For his shitbaggery and just terrible, dreadful, horrible person life that he lived and his drug use, okay? That's what he was known for. If you'd stop somebody on the street back in the late 80s and go, hey, Russell? And they wouldn't go, oh, you mean that dude who talks to Bigfoot? They would go, oh, you mean that sack of crap? Yeah, I know, Russell. Thank you for that, California Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
We appreciate you, my man. So let's go on the
Hawk's at it again.
Hawk, you're killing me, man. Hawk, you can have to send Hawk another round of hats. Hawk's a friend of ours and a big supporter of the channel. He asked for hats, and we were like, let's send Hawk every hat.
We sent him a little variety.
Every hat we have. Send Hawk every hat we have.
And I think a beer glass, too.
Keep the man happy. So so let's deal with it on its cryptozoology layer first, okay?
I think that's a good idea.
So an experiencer named Russell took a young lady up to the Sierra Nevada mountains where he knew Bigfoot to exist. And he wants to go up there and take her and introduce her to the wonders of the of the unseen world.
Mhm.
Okay. Takes her up there. A little bit of an age difference between them. You know what I'm saying? 27 years. She didn't go to school that day. Didn't tell anybody, really. Didn't tell her caretakers where she was going to. And she never came back. She never came back. So her caretakers report her missing.
Right.
Okay. They find out, the police find out, because you're going to kind of see through this that nobody was really forthcoming with the facts too much, which is a little odd.
It seems with the case that there were many failures on many levels, that there should have been quite a few checks and balances.
There should have been people literally set on fire throughout this ordeal, but we'll touch upon that later.
Sure.
So the cops are looking for poor Theresa, and well, they know that she was last seen with Mr. Russell here. So they go get Russell. Russell at first says, I don't know what happened to her. And then Russell goes, well, she ran off. I don't know where she's at. And then upon further questioning, Russell goes, well, we were up there looking for Bigfoot. There's Bigfoot in those mountains. And I went up there with her because I've had Bigfoot experiences before. And I've spoken to them.
Right.
And they've spoken to me. And I took her up there because I wanted to show her this. And something went wrong and they took her.
Right.
The Bigfoot took her. I was lucky to get out of there with my life.
Okay.
Now, I've read, I don't know how many dozens of different accounts of this. So what I'm going to give you is kind of a compilation.
Go ahead.
All right. That's going to be seasoned with my just overwhelming, just disgust at the entire thing. So, but I digress. But anyway, the Bigfoot came out of the woods and they took her.
Okay.
You're not going to find her. The Bigfoot took her.
Okay.
So
don't bother looking.
Remember the Chewbacca defense on South Park?
No.
You don't remember what the Chewbacca defense was?
No, I don't. We can sit here with silent air if you want to, or you can
Google
tell me
it, bring it up real
tell me
quick.
what the Chewbacca defense is.
So it was a famous thing in South Park.
I don't think
This
it
is
is. I think the fish sticks, Kanye West and the fish sticks.
No, the Chewbacca defense is one of the more popular things off of South Park. This is kind of like the Bigfoot defense. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And
It's a legal tactic where a lawyer uses a nonsensical, irrelevant, or confusing argument to distract the jury instead of directly addressing the prosecution's case.
So Russell says the Bigfoots took him and that he was traumatized and he was frightened. He was afraid for his life. He'd never seen anything like it before. He thought these things were his friends. So he panicked when he came down out, but you're not going to find her. The Bigfoot have her. Where were you at? So he kind of shares the location where they were. Now that is a location that he's taken other people to before. So they're pretty sure that maybe that's where they were at, but he's right. They can't find her. They can't find her alive. They can't find remains of her. And this goes on and on and on. And Russell sticks to his story.
Right.
Okay.
Even after he was offered a very light sentence for just admitting that he...
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So
okay, go ahead.
Thank you, War Chief Tracker. See y'all in Tennessee. Hey, are you coming? That's amazing. That's
awesome.
Great. And then Kim Armstrong, wish hubby believed so we could go. Tell your husband. Well, you can't ever guarantee. Now, I will say this. We're gonna circle back around real quick. The area we're going to is an area that
I'm
Randy
gonna buy a shock collar for you.
Is an area that they have researched. That's why they're being a little lipped about it at first, because they do research there. Yeah. So there is apparently a history of experiences
that activity have occurred out there.
So anyway, the police start to sweat Mr. Russell.
Heather Moser, backing me up on this, says the fish sticks is definitely more popular. Thank you.
Of course Heather's going to back you up on that. You guys are like thick as thieves, for God's sake. You got like a whole Buffy Willow thing going on there.
There we go. Carry on, Joseph.
So the cops start to sweat Russell because they've got a missing girl. And in late 1980s California, there's a lot of Bigfoot activity and rumored Bigfoot activity and Bigfoot sightings and Bigfoot experiences and whatnot. But there's not a lot of, at least official reports of people going missing due to them. And Russell's not exactly an upstanding citizen. Okay. They're able to bring him in for questioning because he actually had a warrant out for his arrest at the time for a DUI charge. Okay. So, needless to say, anything other than, yeah, I did it, the police are going to take it with like a whole shaker full of salt coming from this guy. But he sticks to his guns even after the police start to sweat him a bit. Okay. Finally, and they charge him with, and I'll have to look it up. I've got notes so that way I don't get too off of it here. It was like, it wasn't kidnapping or something like that. I think it was abduction of a child. I got my Google Docs thing here real quick. So anyway, let's just say abduction of a child, and I will circle back if that wasn't exactly right. So they've arrested him for that. You familiar with habeas corpus? Got to have a body.
You got to bring
You got to have a body. There's no corpus is being habeas at this point. Okay. They have nothing other than he was the last person seen with her. Okay. And he's giving them a story that sounds incredible. So the police are kind of worried because they're going, this guy doesn't seem like a master criminal. All right. We should be able to find some sort of evidence to this.
Right.
Okay. They can find nothing. Okay. Now, one of the things you will hear about now, we're not like serial killer ghouls or anything like that at all. Okay. We're not really into all that stuff because some people just can like recount all of these facts with glee over you, like on what like Ted Bundy did and everything like that. But we do focus a lot on missing persons behavior and some of the stranger missing person cases, especially in our region, which are sometimes associated with things like that. So one of the things you quickly kind of learn is that usually dirtbag criminals like this are pretty lazy, and that's how they get caught. Okay. There's not a lot of like criminal masterminds coming out of the trailer parks. All right. So especially when they like to indulge in chemicals every once in a while. So the police are kind of like stumped on why they can't find anything with this girl. And the whole time Russell's saying, the Bigfoot took her. The Bigfoot took her. That's why you can't find her. The Bigfoot took her. Okay. So the cops eventually kind of offer him a plea deal, in which case he will agree to plead guilty to, and I got to look up what the charge was, like, abducting a minor, something like that. He's going to serve a year in jail. He is going to agree to take them to the last spot he saw her. And child endangerment and child stealing. That doesn't even sound like a real charge. Child stealing. But that's what they got him for.
Okay.
So they want to know, they go, hey, listen, we'll give you this plea deal. We're going to give you a 1-year sentence on what should be something that has a much, much, much longer sentence if we're able to take you to trial and successfully convict you. But you're going to sign a waiver, basically absolving them of double jeopardy, where you can be charged for the same thing twice. And basically saying, cool, if you didn't kill her, we're going to charge you with child abduction, basically. You're going to spend a year in jail. But you're going to, part of this plea deal is going to be that we can proceed with murder charges if we locate her body.
Right.
And he just went, nope, ain't doing it. The Bigfoot took her. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not doing a plea deal. So he basically, you can look at this at one or two ways. The Bigfoot did come out of the woods and take her. And he's going, no, I'm not going. Yes, I may have had some run-ins with the law, and maybe I haven't lived a spotless life. None of us have. But I'm not going to plead guilty to something I didn't do. And I'll see you in court. Well, the prosecution decides to drop the charges against him because they don't want to charge him with something. Let's say they charge him with murder. They have no body. The jury...
That's double jeopardy.
If the jury goes, you don't have enough you don't have enough evidence. We're going to do it. And then later on, they find more evidence, and then they couldn't bring charges against him.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they dropped the charges on the guy, so that way they could charge him with murder later on if they find the body. But they never found the body. They never found it. So
Right.
that's the story. You hear it when you hear it in like the Bigfoot communities. You hear it on that this guy took her there, and the Bigfoot took her, and why he never changed his story. You know,
stuck with it.
He stuck with
Therefore,
it.
it has to be
true.
Gotta be
gotta
true,
be
because
true.
he just
It's
stuck
gotta be
with
true.
it.
And
you can see how something like that would be sensationalized by the Bigfoot community as
absolutely.
another piece of proof that Bigfoot is out there. That Bigfoot is taking people. That this is a prime example of Sasquatch in the Sierra Nevada. It happens in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, which is where Ron Moorhead got his infamous Sierra Sounds recordings. There's a history of Bigfoot sightings out there. This happened in 87. The Sierra recordings were the early 70s, I believe it was.
Real quick, MK says
I've got him right now.
How did Strange?
I've taken care of it.
Oh, it's been fixed.
Move forward, please. Thank you.
Leave it in the past.
Leave it
in the past, Joe. Leave it in the past. So
some people are pulling strings around here.
So
while you're telling true crime nightmare tales.
Now, his story did vary a little bit. He did say at one point that she's never coming back because, so at one point they took her, they barreled out of the woods and took her. He was shocked. They've never done this before. And at another time he went, well, she's going to be happier with them up there. So she's not going to come back out.
Right.
So at one point they were bloodthirsty, just ravenous creatures. At another point they were like, the Brady Bunch, Bigfoot Brady Bunch. And she's happy up there. She's not coming back.
With the Bigfoot.
She's with the Bigfoots. So
why do we go into this? Why do we go into this sordid tale from 1987, from so long ago, about a girl who was a vulnerable member of society?
Well, because she was a really vulnerable member.
Very vulnerable member.
Because we're doing it because I'm shocked that a network television. I'm shocked that we're doing it, let alone Travel Channel. You know what I'm saying? Because how do you spin this? Do you just try to focus on just the Bigfoot stuff and then just go, let's ignore all of this other inconvenient type?
I'm curious
evidence
to the treatment and how it's going to be. Although,
or are they going to hook you in saying that it's a Bigfoot story, but then you're just going, no.
Then it's a true crime tale.
It's a true crime tale, and I think that's what they're going to do at this point.
Right.
But the reason why I thought it was important to talk about it is
because it has.
And we're not going to mention any names.
No, because it has. It has. What would you say? It has pertinence to today.
It damn well has pertinence to today right now, because when you start to dig into this story a little bit, I'm going to put my spectacles on here and refer to this just to make sure that I'm giving you guys good information. This is gleaned from different reports that have come along throughout the years. So sometimes it's conflicting information. This has been something that's really been talked about.
And you don't have to go into detail.
I'm not going to go off into detail about it. She's hitting my leg right now.
I'm just saying. I
think that strangeoutdoors.com, which had probably the best overall coverage of this over the years.
Right.
And they've revised their coverage of it as new information has kind of come out that they believe is verifiable and true. But I think this one sentence from their article on this sums it up perfectly. Was this just a simple case of kidnapping and murder by a man high on meth? Or was it, as Skip Russell claimed, a Bigfoot abduction in the Sierras? Remember the whole thing that was going around a few years ago about what would you rather meet in the woods, a man or a bear?
Yes. Yes.
What would you rather meet in the woods?
That's still a hot topic.
Yeah. Well, what would you rather?
The Femisphere.
What would you rather meet in the woods, Jesse? A dirtbag high on meth or a Bigfoot? You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather meet a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think so too. So, and I think this girl probably would have rather met a Bigfoot as well.
Yeah.
So the things that, when I started to think of, because again, this story is constantly on my mind, and it's never really been right for a show because it's such a delicate topic. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we're going to get a ding tonight for even talking about it. Because topics like this can only be covered by very serious journalists such as the Travel Channel, in a 3-part series.
Mhm.
You know, hard-hitting journalism. The successor to Walter Cronkite is what they
Solving the murders out there.
solving the murders out there. So, basically, this is just a tale of freaking woe, and it makes me, as a grown-ass man, hear it.
Which we know for a fact that you are. Since we're
Verif-
going over the facts of the case, one of the facts of the case is that you are a grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man. So let's just kind of go.
Grown-ass man confirmed.
So here's what we know, and you can kind of connect these dots yourself here at this point. So June 1st, 1987, 16-year-old Theresa and Mr. Russell, they supposedly become separated in the Sierra Nevada mountains after they had gone up to look for Bigfoot. Russell's charged. The charges are later dismissed. Okay. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the area, and I'm not familiar with the area, I'll be very honest with that. It's near Shut-Eye Peak, about 25 miles away from Bass Lake in California. It's right south of Yosemite National Park, which has a cluster of missing 411 cases.
Which is interesting. It's near, what is it, Big Sleep Dome?
Yeah.
Shut-Eye Peak and Big Sleep Dome, but go on.
So, supposedly she went missing around 7:20 p.m. So, June, still light out. You know what I'm saying? People always get caught up on the fact that he was offered a plea deal, very light sentence. If he was to confess, and even at one point they were like, if you just show us where she is, we'll give you an incredibly light sentence, which is probably kind of a slap in the face, but it goes to show how desperate they were at that point.
To just wrap it up, close the case.
Well, to
be
get
done
him
with it.
something, because they knew
Closure.
they knew they didn't have anything on him, and that's why they dropped the charges.
And this is a rugged wilderness.
Yeah.
So,
But
you
he
gotta think-
refused. He stuck to the Bigfoot story, man. And people get caught up on that and go, well, and here's the deal. We don't know. Stranger things have happened. You know, this guy could be the worst human being walking the face of the planet, and Bigfoot took her. I doubt it, but it's possible.
Framed by the Bigfoot patsy.
Yeah, but I mean, it could have happened. You know what I'm saying? But when you really start to dive into this, the overwhelming story became, it was a really terrible crossroads of a very vulnerable person.
We call that a perfect storm of
perfect
situation.
Perfect shitstorm.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
A situational shitstorm.
And an unhinged individual who, now, in all fairness, Russell had talked about Bigfoot in the past. This was not a story that was just spun out of whole cloth.
Yeah. So
as
there
an
is a
alibi.
history of him being
Yes.
a Bigfoot researcher, for lack of a better word.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So now he also had a history of taking young girls up there.
Yeah.
And doing some pretty
Nefarious things.
shady stuff.
Right.
Shady stuff. We'll leave it at that. So we're not going to get into the missing girl's like personal history. Let's just say that life had not been very kind to her. And when you get down to it, it's kind of heartbreaking. She really didn't have anybody in her corner her entire life.
She certainly suffered physical abuse as a child, which certainly led to developmental disabilities.
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
often referred to as a slow learner. Oftentimes when people are in those positions, they're overly trusting.
Very much
individuals.
so. They're looking for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes there's somebody waiting there just to take advantage of that. But, you know, her parents had split up. She had ended up with her father and his new wife. The new wife was very abusive. Theresa, poor girl. She ends up going to live with her, I think it was like her great grandmother. And shortly after that, her uncle, and they call him Blind Johnny, because technically this guy was blind. Okay. He gets custody of her somehow. This poor kid, man, you know, this poor kid. And, you know, her uncle's 42. Are you writing a note to me? So, uncle's 42, blind. He's blind. It's a Jerry Springer episode
Right.
of all Jerry Springer episodes there. Okay. So basically,
David Parsons asks, I'm going to go ahead and take some of these super chats too. Well, or not super chats, but some of these chats while we're doing it. And So David Parsons says, heard a story on another channel of Bigfoot saving a woman from an abusive boyfriend. Could this have been a similar situation? We don't know. I have not heard that particular story. And you've got to be careful about some of these stories that you hear. A lot of this stuff is creepypasta. A lot of this is AI generated. I don't know if that is a story that was reported to anyone in particular. I don't have a lot of knowledge about that. So,
but I do want to bring there's some important points here.
Go ahead.
That you have to recognize with this case. Okay. Russell had previously taken another young girl up there with him. Okay. Another female had warned the young girl that Russell was taking up to watch out, that you were going to be in a very unsafe situation with him if you go up there, that the Bigfoot hunting is a pretense to get you up there alone.
Correct. Yes.
Where you'll be vulnerable. Okay. She ended up taking a couple of male friends with her, also like young people, teens, and all three of them had a very unpleasant time up there and got out basically going, wow, it could have been a lot worse. So they tried to warn Theresa at this point. Theresa wanted to see the Bigfoots, though. She allowed that desire.
Insanely enthusiastic about seeing the Bigfoot, interacting with the Bigfoot, because this is what she's been told is going on. Russell Matthews has one here. He says, if it's true and he was in contact with them and were habituating them, why wouldn't he go back and ask them to return her? Did he ever go back and did the police have a tracker hidden on his car? I don't know about the tracker or anything like that. But yes, if you are communing with the Bigfoot, as this man claims he was, why did he not do that? That's a good question to ask.
Well, when he first came back, when he first returned from those mountains, didn't alert anybody that she was gone. That didn't come out until the police arrested him for the outstanding DUI and started to question him. And then that story came out down the road, and that's not even what he led with. Now, he did go see someone. They think that this might have been the first person that he went to see once he returned out of the mountains alone.
Right.
And he spins a story to this woman that he was there with Theresa and a satanic cult took her, or she was given to the cult.
Okay.
And the lady that he's telling the story to dismisses it because she said he was high and she just assumed he was babbling. Okay. That's weird. And you don't usually hear that most times with this case. Is that what went on? We talked about Chester Moore in Dark Outdoors earlier.
He covers topics, these topics in particular.
Outdoor cult activity.
Things that we've encountered that are very similar to that. Situations that if we could look deeper into them, if we were there earlier, if we were more aware of what happened actually out there, could be the same kind of situation, because we found some strange evidence of occult activity and possible missing persons out in the woods ourselves.
So is that what happened? Was he involved in something like that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a really weird thing to kind of bring up if it was Sasquatch related. Okay. If you do think that this poor girl has had such a terrible life in civilization, and she's gone to live a more peaceful life with the Bigfoot, and they're going to be there watching out for her, why do you start telling them anything about a cult taking her, having her, anything like that at all?
Yeah.
It's just weird. Okay. It's weird. And quite honestly, let's just be honest. There's an element that's involved with the Bigfoot community that's also crazier than average. You know what I'm saying? And we were brushing up on this, or at least I was. I'm brushing up on this case, reading it, because there's new stuff that kind of gets added in occasionally. Do you know what I'm saying?
And you can absolutely see parallels to some things that occur right now within the Bigfoot community.
Absolutely.
In terms of vulnerable individuals who are involved in the Bigfoot community, who are interested in the subject, who are on Facebook, on these Facebook groups, and then they get involved with people who claim to be people who are, Bigfoot researchers or anything like that. And they take advantage of these vulnerable people. And it's easier than ever right now in modern day to connect with those vulnerable individuals and take advantage of them via the means of Facebook or these chat groups or anything like that.
Russell had displayed very erratic behavior in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Very erratic behavior in the past. He had a lot of like substance abuse issues, which probably compounded some pre-existing psychological issues that he might have.
Bonnie Blue actually has a comment about some stuff we found in the woods. When y'all found the kids' clothes and the stuffed animal, that turned my blood cold. Absolutely. That was in North Georgia, in the area where we have uncovered very strange evidence of what appeared to be cult activity going on.
What we uncovered backed up directly what firsthand witnesses in the area had told us.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, when we first heard the witness reports, we were a little unsure what the hell they were. This might all just be a load of malarkey.
And then we kept digging and we kept finding puzzle pieces for sure.
Matched up with what they told us exactly. And that's a hard thing to wrap your head around. But, you know, we're looking at the Bigfoot community nowadays, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know, you look at this and you just go, wow, what a crazy story. I can't believe something like that happened. And I'm going, I can't believe stuff like this doesn't happen more often, sadly enough. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You see people that display insane behavior. I mean, we're weird. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
And most of y'all in the chat are weird too. In case you didn't know.
That's why we run the disclaimer.
In case you didn't know that about yourselves. But the vast majority of us can function to a certain degree as normal human beings. Okay. We'll occasionally get somebody that kind of tries to like join in with like the Hellbender, like the extended, like, you know, group we have, because we got a good thing going on. We got a great community going on. And we've had to show some people to the door sometimes because I'm going, you don't match the vibe of the room. We were both bartenders once upon a time. What's one of the first skills you learn? It's not that you're necessarily doing anything wrong per se. You just don't match the vibe here. Okay.
You got to 86 them.
Yeah. So you got to 86 them. Gently. Just show them the door. But I'm looking at it and I'm going, we do a terrible job. Now, again, this dude was more in a vacuum. Okay. I don't know if he was involved with any of the Bigfoot groups out there. I can't speak to that because I wasn't there. I don't have firsthand knowledge. Everything, I'll admit, admittedly, everything that I know about this case is something that I've read that other people have put out. Okay. But man, a lot of the accounts match up a lot, you know, and
everybody's offended that you're calling them weirdos.
So, and you go, well, nothing like that could happen today. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, it could. The only difference is that this dude seemed to have access to some vulnerable folks.
Direct access to them, yes.
Direct access to them.
You know, this also pertains to this. Becca, the scribe. Did you guys wake up? Were you guys asleep there? Becca the scribe says, sounds like a similar story someone told me not long ago that could have ended like this. We
hear
Banana Town
stories of stuff that goes on so-called organized like Bigfoot campout outings.
Yes.
I mean, not to this degree. Let's run a freaking disclaimer on that. But that there's some very odd behavior, some erratic behavior. Most of the people here have been in like a Facebook group, Bigfoot group at some time or another. And you've seen the people that you go, a little eccentric. We're all a little eccentric to openly talk about this. Mm-hmm. And then you see some people that you go, they either need to be medicated or they're on the wrong sort of self-prescribed medication. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this and I'm just going, it was kind of like a real wake-up call when I was rereading this stuff that I knew, but you reread it in light of knowing that it's going to come to the greater public awareness now that it's going to be on network television. And I go, good God, we do a terrible job as a greater community of like policing ourselves.
Correct.
And I'm just tell you right now, can I say that? We're not monetized.
What were you gonna say?
I got a good life.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
I got a good life, but
Here he goes.
I got a good life. I enjoy my life. I got a good thing going about everything. But my God, if I see something like this happen today, I might just go,
Had a good run.
had a good run, but it's time to stand for something that you really believe in. And but I'm looking at this going, my God, I hopefully when this story comes out and if they present it in its entirety, okay, because it's one of two things. Well, it's one of a couple things. Either the Bigfoots took her and this dude was traumatized and he already had a very fragile grasp on reality due to his
Joe is the new mayor of Banana Town.
his new his issues that he had, his personal troubles he had, and the witnessing this just broke him. Okay.
I think everybody's kind of wondering where this is going because your Hawk was like sometimes.
What?
Sometimes okay. So Hawk is like let's. Sometimes Joe goes on, and I'm like, what is he getting at?
Well, here's what I'm getting at is that one of a few things happened. Is that either the Bigfoot took her and this dude was traumatized by it and this was the best way he could deal with it.
Right.
And he wasn't really equipped to deal with anything well, let alone this. She went to live. Let's all think of your dog went to live on a farm aspect. He's on a sunny farm. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she was living with the Bigfoots. Maybe she got out of a world of hurt and was in a better place with them. Okay. Maybe the worst case scenario happened and she was vulnerable and she made a mistake of going with somebody that she shouldn't have gone with and something bad happened to her.
Thank you, Rick Skinner, for the weirdo party fund. I'm going to break up Joe's rant a little bit.
But my rant is that we should all look at this story and go, okay, if worst case scenario is right.
I 100% agree with this sentiment.
Then we should go, something like this should never happen again that's associated with the Bigfoot community.
Correct.
Do we think that this story getting out into the airwaves is going to make people that are into this topic look better than we already are?
No.
Because modern society thinks we're all crazy anyway.
Right. And I know this is a departure from what we normally do, but this story,
is terrible.
This story really kind of struck a chord.
Yeah.
It certainly struck a chord with me. And I saw that they were doing this special on this story, and we kind of want to discuss this story and how it applies to the Bigfoot community and what's happening in the Bigfoot community in modern day. I know that there's a lot of events going on. There's a lot of gatherings, and I know that myself, this is sort of like an after school special PSA thing. Is what
very
it is,
special
basically.
episode.
Very special episode. I know that when I first started getting into doing this and putting this out to the world in a very public way, I really enjoyed the community that came along with it, and we've definitely built a amazing community here with the Hellbenders, and everybody is pretty well vetted. When it comes to that, we have a great community. We are a lot of people that don't really fit in with the Bigfoot world and ethos at large. We're kind of independent thinkers as Hellbenders. We take different approaches. We're a little more holistic in our approaches to this. We argue. We're not all in lockstep with this stuff, and we love that. And that's what we enjoy, and that's what makes this community what it is. And finding that community is something very important, but I want this to be a tale of caution. I want this to be something that you kind of take with you and think about, that when seeking that community, be careful what you do, where you go, because if an incident like this occurred today, that would be pretty much the end of the Bigfoot community at large.
Well, I tell you right now, what's going to happen is that people that are not involved in the Bigfoot community are going to watch this special and they're going to go, oh my Lord, that's crazy. Da, 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 da. And they're going to look up Bigfoot stuff on, let's say, Facebook. And then they're going to see. It's such a fine line to walk because there are people out there that have completely different theories on the subject than I do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, But there's a difference between being a sane person with a crazy sounding theory and a crazy person with a crazy sounding theory. You know what I'm saying? There are people that are in this chat right now that I've had personal conversations for, and I give my spiel, they give their spiel, and we look at each other and go, I don't know. I don't see it, what you're seeing with this. I don't see how that's possible. But we're able to present our cases in pretty understandable and sane manners, And I'm just telling you right now, if I was a person who just saw this on the Travel Channel and went, I'm going to look into this Bigfoot community, it certainly can't be that bad.
Right.
They're going to look into it. They're going to go, oh my Lord, it is that bad. Russell, the guy who was involved in this, I guess would go on crazy like religious rants, which makes me, when he said the cult activity, that kind of makes my ears perk up a little bit.
Correct.
If he's known for doing stuff like that, maybe he was involved in stuff like that. But it's going to be very weird. I'm going to say this though, maybe the good thing that'll come out of this is that some more attention and some more resources will be put to this, and maybe there'll be some closure one way or the other about all of this, because it's a terrible story and there's no way to, and we kind of bounced around a lot of it. If you have any interest in it, look it up, but be prepared, man. It's not a real feel-good story.
And I think that this is, Chester Moore hits on this kind of stuff a lot, that his whole slogan for Dark Outdoors is the most dangerous thing out in the woods is people. We saw that with those recent killings at that park in Arkansas, where that couple was killed by that gentleman who it looked like he had done it before.
Oh yeah.
It looked like he was coming after those girls. But there's been several instances like that. And while this is fun, this is interesting, this is exciting, we've discussed over the past few weeks how there is a raising of the temperature, that there is some sort of madness infecting society as a whole. And it seems like everybody's getting pressurized in a way. I just want to encourage you, if you are interested in this subject or any fringe topic of any kind, that you are very aware of who you're talking to, who you go out into the woods with. When you go on some of these campouts, you have no cell signal. You have no way to contact the outside world. You're meeting up with complete strangers. Just please be aware of stuff like that. Take care of yourself. Be very safety aware. It's been a while since we've even talked about the missing 411 rules. And that's something Joe and I used to hit on all the time.
Yeah.
We used to talk about that on the show all the time, that always carry a personal locator beacon. Always have a plan B. If you are comfortable with carrying a firearm, do so. Learn how to use it. Because I don't want to see something like this ever happen again. And that's why it was important for us to kind of stray off of what we normally talk about, because we don't want something like this to happen. We don't want the entire community to be tarnished by the action of an unhinged individual. Yeah. What we do is dangerous. What we find out in the woods indicates that there's crazy shit going down.
The world's far darker and more dangerous and stranger than most people realize.
I'm very lucky. I have the privilege of having Joe with me. Joe is 6'3". He's a grown-ass man. So I have him in the woods with me. If you are interested in doing this, please protect yourself. And that's kind of the whole point of this. I know it seems like a after-school special.
It kind of is in a way.
A PSA, but with the way that a lot of people are getting very unhinged and comfortable with threats and comfortable with just acting completely banana town. I just think, especially when you're involved in these fringe topics, that you need to just be aware of that happening, recognize it, and don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. If it's, you're seeking community, seek community, but vet people. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was going to bring up, is that a lot of times this is a hard topic to talk about. And a lot of people don't have anybody in their immediate circle in real life to talk about this subject with. Maybe they've had a Bigfoot encounter themselves and everybody thinks they're crazy. Right. Okay. And nobody believes them. None of their friends, none of their family. So sometimes you maybe meet people often like online or whatever, and they're claiming similar experiences. And sometimes you let that desire to have some kinship, maybe somebody who gets me, because for a lot of people, their Bigfoot encounters or Dogman encounters or paranormal encounters or UFO encounters, it's the defining pivotal moment of their lives, you know what I'm saying? And to
Right.
finally find somebody who they can kind of share and unpack that with, well, you know, sometimes you overlook some other like possible red flags at this point, you know, and it's just something that, you know, it's something you never want to see happen again, you know, and it's something that I think that it's increasingly, I don't want to say likely, but the odds are not, the chances are not a flat zero that this won't happen again.
Also, something we need to prepare for too. I know the special is coming out, and you know how the normies are. Let's level, folks. I'm gonna level with you, folks. You know how the normies are. Like, you're a person that's into Bigfoot, and if anybody in your life that's a normal person, a normie, they find out that you're into Bigfoot, what do? You found him yet? You still believe in Bigfoot? Any Bigfoot thing comes up, they laugh about it, they make fun of you, they throw it at you. I want you, if you are with that person in your circle, if you're that Bigfoot guy in your circle, prepare that if this special gets released about this story and it paints this gentleman as a Bigfoot researcher who kidnapped and murdered a girl, because and then this is a Bigfoot researcher thing. Just be prepared to answer questions about that and have normies in your life ask you, so you're one of these Bigfoot people who kidnap and murder girls.
I'm curious how they're going to present this.
I am too. That's why.
Because here's the deal is that the Hulu one, well, it wasn't a grow operation in California. Most American citizens don't really have any familiarity with that world. So for them, it's kind of removed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows of a dirtbag. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody's got that person.
Yes, I know him. He's me.
Yes, I know him. He's me. But it's just, like I said, I just think that we need to just be aware of it, man. Be aware of it.
Nut slap. Good God, nut slap. Nut slap goes, y'all have sold me. I'm going into the woods.
So I'll be honest with you. That's part of the reason why we agree, because we get a lot of offers to do stuff with different groups across the country. The list is very small for people that we would go, yeah, we'll go into the woods with you guys at night. You know what I'm saying?
Now, amongst all this, we did invite you all to a Bigfoot campout in the mountains of Tennessee.
That is, that's what I was going to say. There's a very short list, and Randy and them are at the top of the list. You know what I'm saying? So there will be no shenanigans there.
Yeah, there will be no shenanigans.
There'll be no shenanigans there.
And everything is going to be pretty well vetted. That's the thing, is like, this is something that we are endorsing because we're part of. We know that this is not going to.
Yeah.
This is not going to devolve into some crazy situation.
Yeah, because we've heard some horror stories.
Somebody covers their naked body in mud.
Well, I thought I was living in America.
Ken Lucas just got a refund on his tickets.
So,
I thought this was America.
So I guess what we're saying is vet it, vet yourself. Don't let your enthusiasm for the topic, because there's more stuff going on now as far as campouts and just stuff, and just, you know, I've seen people just see something mentioned online and drive a great distance to go to it, and they don't really know anybody there.
And there's been a lot of stories about that lately. Like,
so
a lot of different people.
Our crew, you guys, are a bit wiser than that. But I guess what I'm saying is that if you have the opportunity, maybe keep an eye on your less worldly friends that are in this topic, and just because I'm just going to go ahead and say it. More than likely, the dude got away with something he shouldn't have gotten away from. And he used Bigfoot and someone's interest in Bigfoot as a vehicle for that. is somebody going to be out there and see this and go, well, that dude got away with it. I'm going to get away with it too. You know what I'm saying? That copycat stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? So let's just all be aware. Let's all be aware of it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to do a Hellbent holler gathering, like a Hellbender gathering sometime, probably over the next year. We're going to vet the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we've
Because
got,
I am the world's greatest detective.
and we've got what you would call good lunatics as people who are members of this community. You know what I'm saying? We had an instance at the Tennessee Wildman thing where one of the people that we kind of like alluded to, that's just a freaking raving lunatic who's kind of like involved with the Bigfoot community, threatened to show up. And we're talking to Randy and them, and they're just going, hey, well, might pass the door. You know, we got this. And I'm going, even if he does, have you seen the collection of people who associate with us here? These are not your typical Bigfoot people. You know what I'm saying?
Here we are giving a PSA, and Hawk is giving me a PSA. Jesse, you worry me because of the way you get out ahead of Joe at night. I see a bad one darting across the trail and grabbing you. Nothing Joe could do either. You would be gone there very
Hawk,
fast.
that's I can't say every night of my life when we're out in the woods, you know what I'm saying? But there will literally be times, and I'm sure that you edit most of them out. Leave one in next time. It's me going, Jesse, stay close to me. Where are you? All right. Oh no, I'll be right back. So,
and I think deep down somewhere you'll have that fleeting moment of, oh, thank goodness. Silence.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Silence at last.
But it no, it's dangerous. This is a dangerous thing to get involved with. And regardless of,
and I don't ever want to discourage anyone from doing
absolutely
field
not.
research at all. I want to encourage you to do it. And again, I've mentioned this earlier. We used to hammer on this all the time. We used to hammer on expedition safety more than we do now. We really don't touch on it as much as we do.
And it's so easy to make a misstep with this. I mean, we ourselves have gotten involved with people that we regret getting involved with it because it's lingered and caused problems down the road.
Right.
And we're pretty paranoid, you know what I'm saying? So it can happen no matter how well you vet. But again, your odds are better if you vet and you go into this carefully. Even if you think that even if you got a big, warm, fuzzy feeling about the Bigfoot topic, even if you think that there are Forest Brothers, they got our best interests at heart, you can't say that about your fellow man. Okay. So it's just, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We're probably going to have what's it on? We don't have cable. I guess we can't watch it, can we?
We have the HBO thing because
God, we're like old people.
We are. Well, we've got our spectacles on. I can't.
And
I see nothing.
What's crazy is
without these.
So I got a younger wife thinking that, hey, as I get older, that's going to be my like emissary to like the hip modern world. Okay. Nothing further from the freaking truth.
How do you think I was able to relate to a man of advanced age so well?
But
I thought I was going to be able to relate to a man of advanced age because I wasn't part of the modern world.
I'm explaining internet culture and memes and trends to you, which is just very
I'm still on the cotton gin.
So anyway, but we have that HBO thing. Maybe we'll be able to watch it on that. Hold on a second. I thought this was grown ass man America. So
I want to hear the Hulk Hogan theme now.
The Hulk Hogan thing. So anyway, this is gloom and doom. I know
we don't want it to be.
We don't want it to be.
But
we tried to bring some levity to it. But use this. I think we should all use this as a minor wake up call, regardless of what level of interest and like participation you might have in this stuff. Let's just kind of use this as a reminder so that something like this never happens again, at least in the greater Bigfoot community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That nothing like this ever happens again. That the subject of the Bigfoot phenomenon is not associated with such a sordid tale. Because it's a sordid tale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if the story comes out and it's whitewashed, kind of know that there was some other darker stuff that should have been a red flag to most people, but unfortunately this person, this poor girl was...
Alex Petikoff has chimed in. Breaking news. just tuned in, but was going to say this whole discovery thing reminds me of that Hulu Sasquatch doc from a few years ago.
Yep.
But given this special is made for TV streaming, it's going to be crap.
It's just going to be what tone do they strike and what story do they decide to put out for people.
Yeah. So that's what's inspired this PSA to don't get got by those in Sasquatch.
Oh, damn. Don't get got by those in Sasquatch. So
there was a bit of chat earlier about charity work. Joe and I were talking about this today. Speaking of Chester Moore.
Yeah.
Are we done with this?
We're done. I'm done. I never want to speak about it again.
Okay. So now let's go on to brighter things. Okay. We were discussing this today. It is the end of October, so we do have the holiday season coming up, and the Hellraiser charity drive of this year is up in the air. We're going to ask you, the audience, if you guys are interested in us doing a fundraiser. We're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. I want to gauge the interest of the audience, but I think we are going to do one, and we're going to benefit Chester Moore's higher calling foundation that he has there, and he gets kids that are often the victims of abuse or bad situations, and he takes them out into the woods, takes them hiking, takes them out to photograph wildlife, and shows these kids that there's still wonder and beauty in the world. It is a worthwhile cause, and that is what we're choosing this year for our Hellraiser benefit. Details to come. I hope you guys are interested in it because I think we're going to do it. And
we did the one in Oklahoma, and we were just going to do it ourselves, and other people chimed in, and that thing freaking snowballed. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the people that took place in that thing, and again, we set it up so that we don't handle anything. It goes directly to the charity that we choose to do.
Yep.
Chester has a legit charity. It's on the books. He's fighting the good fight, man. So we kind of going over this story and talking about this for the show. We were like, you know what? We want to try to do another thing again. If nobody else wants to do it, we'll just donate ourselves. We don't care. But we will have it up. So in case people decide that they want to, spread some goodness this holiday season, but he's going to be who we focus on. You got a link for him for his stuff?
I will pull that up. It's the higher calling, and I will pull that up. I'll put that in the...
Chester's like the dude who walks the walk on that. Chester Moore is, when we talk to him at conferences, he's like one of our favorite people that we interact with. This dude is on a mission from God. Let's just be honest. I'm saying, he is a legit, no lie force for good in the world, and we're going to focus on his group. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he does some stuff with the outdoor paranormal community, some cryptid stuff and everything like that. He was focusing on the feral human phenomenon not too long ago. But he does a lot of stuff getting kids out there and letting them kind of reconnect with what it is to be a kid. And he sacrifices a great deal himself to do it. So we'll try to do what we can to kind of help him out this holiday season.
So I'm going to add that to the description right now. It's the page from his website about higher calling.
He's not Russell wants to know, isn't taking kids into the woods with strangers a good idea, especially after tonight's subject matter? Well, their families are involved in this. Yeah. So Chester just ain't grabbing kids off the street and going, we're going to the lake, kids.
Did you have a bad day? Let's go to the woods.
Poor chap. I don't know. I think Joe went to Gulf Shores with that Oklahoma money. So,
Gulf Shores. God, the water's green and greasy in Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
I went there one time. I said, no way. Let's see. I'll reach.
All right. So.
I'm going to finish this, Joseph. You talk to the good people.
Yeah, Patty, and we're gonna do we're gonna do we're gonna get with him. So we're gonna have an organized thing up, kind of like we did for the Oklahoma charity. Yeah. We'll have it set up so that anything that's donated doesn't come to us, and then we give it. It'll be coming directly to them. We'll do it as a unified group. We'll do it basically just like we did the Oklahoma thing. We're actually gonna do. I don't know if we'll be able to squeeze it in this year, but we're gonna actually do a. Remember the telethons?
Do a hellathon!
Do a hellathon, baby. And
I get so ambitious with everything. I kind of want one of those tiny little microphones like Bob Barker had, and I want to host it.
Powder blue tuxedo. So,
Powder blue, baby Billy style, baby.
Baby Billy style. All right. We thank you all so much for hanging in with us through this. I do want to back to this because I highlighted it, but Ventus says, I know Dark Waters thinks cryptids have connections to fallen angels, the evil side of things. And that's why the topic itself drives people crazy, tends to attract negativity. I want to end on this note. If you're into this topic and you're a reader, it does help to have a background in anthropology to really kind of wade your way through the book. But The Trickster and the Paranormal is a phenomenal work that really gives you a lot of insight into this. And one of the things that the author speaks about is all of this stuff, the other has its basis in a trickster type element.
Mm-hmm.
And the nature of a trickster is to destabilize and deconstruct organizations, groups, communities, whatnot. And that's why you see so many paranormal groups just fall apart into ruin. Bad things happen and bad blood gets generated up. Part of that is the egos that are involved. And you have people that are sometimes having varying relationships with the other, and they start to think that they're extremely special, and they think that they are the ones. We got sirens going on.
I know. It sounds like there's chaos outside.
So other times it is the actual touch of the other that's doing this. So we're gonna go stand on our front porch and see what the hell's breaking down outside.
Yeah, special thanks to Hawk for gifting those memberships.
Hawk, you did it, man. Good.
He said he needs to work some overtime now. Enjoy your memberships. All right, thank you guys for joining us. And I mean this today more than ever. And I need you guys to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of who you talk to, who you interact with. It's a dangerous world out there, and I don't want to hear about any of you making a bad decision that could lead to a lifetime of consequences.
Especially when we have to gather up the troops and go seek vengeance. Regulators, mount up. Hellbenders, mount up. So,
goodness gracious, Lord Almighty. All right, guys, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Hellbenders out. We'll see y'all on the other side. Good night.